Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Leadership Podcast with me, Stephen Akintayo. And today I have a very interesting guest. He's a special advisor to the governor of Ondo State on entrepreneurship and, of course, the founder of AYE. An entrepreneur himself, a great speaker, orator, extraordinary. Ladies and gentlemen, Summy Francis Smart.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Stephen.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a while we chatted, so let's chat. Let me start reporting all the things
Let's start.
we did not meet up.
This word smart, your parent gave you smart or you added it?
My grandmother, actually. My grandmother, as far as I can recall. So probably from toddler age stuff. She's always called me Summy Smart, Summy Smart. Perhaps they feel like there's something there that they think it's smart. And then somehow it became my name, and then now my children are bearing those names as well.
So what's your surname?
My surname is Francis.
Francis, okay.
So that's my father's first name, Summy Smart Francis.
Why do you like the three together?
You think it's the rhythm, right?
I mean, I'm always
Some people
curious.
like the rhythm, but
Yes.
I think it's just an element of my identity.
Okay.
My name's Summy, which is a name that it took me a while before I understood the
Okay. What does it
depth
mean?
of that name, because I saw it as a feminine name and I didn't like it as a kid.
Okay.
So it's Oluwa Sumisola. It's a Yoruba name that simply means God pushes me to wealth.
Oh.
And then Smart, that came from the grandmother, and that was my personality. And then Francis, my father. So what makes you you is who you are, who you are called, your personality, and then where you came from. So it's Summy Smart Francis.
I like that. What's your background like growing up?
Well, background growing up has just been, will I use the word interesting? It's life of any young chap, any young boy, that many will say naughty. And then grandmothers, we say smart. So it's that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
Had a couple of interesting...
What number were you?
Let me try and remember my number right now, because I'm a big polygamous family. I think I'm number 9 out of 25 kids.
Or from your mom, your number what?
I'm the last born.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm the last child. And so, yes, in a polygamous home, it's always been that fun, seeing your siblings as friends, and it's such a big family that you can have your own carcass.
Wow.
If you decide to have your own carcass, you know what I'm saying? And yes, that was the feeling. And along the line, my father would always take every of his children, once you become a teenager, to his hotels. He's an hotelier. Okay. And he will drop you in one of his branch for you to supervise it.
Really?
From 13, 14.
Wow.
And then when you become 17, it makes you a manager. So that's been a tradition, year in, year out. So when it got to my turn, it was a feeling I was really excited to. Everybody wanted to go out of the house and everything like that. But at some point, I didn't like it, because when you're now getting that early into entrepreneurship, I'm being blamed for some business decisions or business challenges at a very young age. I didn't really like that. But as I grew up, I would say that my father was one of those that built my entrepreneurial stamina, and I learned a lot. So yes, entrepreneurship was also part of my early beginning.
You've once shared how you and a friend, I'll never forget that story, went to meet an alpha. And then, whether it was it true or it was makeup. And then the alpha said the other friend was going to make it. You were not going to make it. Was it a true story?
Oh, okay. If you have to make up those stories, then you have to look at the positives and negatives of such stories.
Yes.
People who make up stories, I'm sure they will have glorified it better.
Okay.
If it has to be a make-up story. There's too many ugly things about that story that should not
That's
even make it a
my
make-up
point.
story.
I mean, it's trained to be true.
Many stories of our life, when we look at it, it sometimes can be disappointing. Sometimes it could be miserable. Sometimes it could be very negative, but it's a story for another man to learn from. People say experience is the best teacher, but I say that the experience of another man is a better teacher. So you don't really need to go through what that person has gone through. And so when I look at these storylines, I feel I'm very free to share them. And yes, that story was true. A pretty early age at some point.
What age was it?
17 was my first attempt to travel out of Nigeria, And that was when that drive started. From like 16, being in the hotel, because as a kid, you have to wait for the last customer. So can you imagine in a hotel?
Yeah.
You have to wait when they shut down probably around 12 midnight.
Yeah.
And you have to wait for them to lock the main gate of the hotel and stuff. So you watch movies and stuff. And watching those with me, you know, the time, I'm sure this will appeal to some young folks out there. The time you start seeing yourself in abroad, you know that feeling? when you're watching a movie, you're looking at the road, this street, I'm already there. It was that feeling. So everything was just ministering to me that, yes, abroad. And I had a friend also who had the same desire. And we would speak about it, we would daydream about it, we would plan it. We are applying to so many universities. You know, when those catalogs come, do you remember? They'll send you the catalogs. You'll be like, University of Los Angeles. To be like, so we'll just be looking at it, we'll be checking their buildings. This is where we stay. So it was all those fantasies was happening. And just to narrow down to what you were asking, we went to consult. Stupid us, you know. You know, there was this. I don't know why you're asking me this question on the podcast, because you've heard it before. So you just want the world to hear the story.
Want to hear it.
But then, you know, wanted to go to a pastor to pray and check and everything like that. And they want, you know, those Gwadubu that are very useless. So I give you rubbish advice. They're always there for rubbish advice. If you need rubbish advice, check your neighborhood. You see one man sitting on the fence every morning. Is the one. He has the whole advice for you. He has already been deported. He knows. They know all the countries. They know all those things. You're not good at say, no. Why are you talking about pastor here? There's a powerful sheikh in Lagos, the most powerful sheikh in Lagos. Whatever he sees is confirmed. Don't worry. Okay, let's go to that sheikh. I went to the sheikh now, and he checked for us. And after he checked, he said to me that, don't you even dare to try to travel, because in your life, you will never even see an aeroplane.
Hey!
Talk less of boarding one. And then he said, this is the one that will travel. I will never see aeroplane. No, I heard the fact that I will not travel. Which one is I will not see aeroplane? Then you know when I now went home, you know our house is in Allen Avenue in Ikeja, and planes would fly. But this time around, plane did not fly. After he said that thing, I would look up, no plane. So I can't even see plane myself. So that was just the crazy story from that man. And now the rest is history. I've been on jets, I've flown jets, I've done any kind. I've flown a plane myself.
Really?
Just to be able to
Are you a train pilot?
I have a PPO, I have a private pilot license.
So, was that intentional?
Of course.
To get back to
Of course. Like, you know what? I'm not going to fly economy, I'll fly business. I'm not going to fly business, I'll be in a jet. I'm not just going to be in a jet, I'll fly one. And now I'm looking for that alpha. So that I can put him on board. And Baba, you remember that your story. So yes, it's one of those things that people will look at you and assume you. But I do not think that man was there to define my future. I think he was there to charge me of what I was capable of. Because at that time, many will hear disappointing things. And that's in leadership as well. They will tell you it's not possible or it's not going to be easy, and then you give up. And the funny thing about life is, I don't care if it's not easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy, as long as it's possible. Like Lewis Hamilton said, I need it to be possible, that's all. And that was what happened there. It triggered that Summy Smart Francis in me.
Wow.
But I am nothing without God. And immediately I took that challenge. And yes, many other stories came after that. That speech was titled Story of Two Boys. And then it has a part B.
Okay.
Where I now shared my different trips and different encounter and
so
stuff.
At what
like
point
that.
did you travel to South Africa?
Oh, okay. At what age was that? I think I was then in my early 20s.
Okay. So at least 3 years, the prophecy came to pass.
No. South Africa was in my first country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, South Africa was your first country? Canada was my first country.
Oh, at what age?
That was around 20. 19 or 20, I can't really remember. Like I said, I have a quote that says, I keep no record of the goods that have happened in my life, and I have no record of the bads that have happened in my life, because life itself, we have a record of me. So I'm more focused on what I want the world to remember than me remembering things. So I'm not good with dates. Don't ask me when I got married. Don't put me in trouble right now. I'm not good with dates. I'm not good with those things. But I'm more focused on what I want the world to remember. But all these things happened between 17 was my first travel.
Really?
Yeah, I still traveled
the same year
now that I was deported. I thought you followed the story. I ended up traveling and I was deported from Charles de Gaulle in Paris, and I thought that this is first prophecy.
Why did they deport you?
You don't want to say the stories on the podcast. I'll go for version B of this podcast and share that particular one. Yes, I was deported, and then I thought that no, this is it. The prophecy has come to pass now. They said I will not simply now they now deported me. But at the end of the day, even with that, I still kept moving. Even with that, I didn't let that bring me down. Now, the whole storyline is not about travel or flight.
Obviously.
The whole storyline is about believing in yourself and what you're capable of doing. The whole storyline is, yes, there's too many echoes of negativity all around you. But what are you doing with it? Is it fueling you enough? Speaking to somebody recently, and he was complaining about poverty. He said poverty alone is an excuse to be successful. Yes, now, come on now. The way you look at it itself, your action itself, your current circumstance itself, that's the reason. I'm speaking at our assembly. We have that every Saturday. And my topic for this Saturday is actually I hate poverty. Yeah, that's it. The fuel of poverty can enhance your success.
Come on.
Yeah. So if you look at all these issues, all these negativities, that alone is enough reason to propel you to success. And that's the story.
One of the other message, and don't worry, I'll end with this one, is the one of you having to sell, in the malls in South Africa. Yeah.
What do you want to know now? Oh my God! You want the story again?
I want to hear that story, and I love it because one of the powerful things about leadership is that it starts with yourself. And one of the best places to learn leadership is marketing. In the process of trying to convince one person to buy from you, you begin to learn a lot of the ingredients that makes you a great leader. So why did you need to do that kind of job in South Africa?
Yeah. So thank you very much. And before I answer that question, and I'm quite impressed that you remember my stories. I should tell more then. Thank you very much. I'm glad it can register in your mind and also be reversed again back into your brain to be able to share these questions. But those stories were not even a sales or marketing story. Like the initial one that you also asked, it was more of, as a leader, there's some attributes. And if you remember the topic and what everybody got from that conference is, and the chant was, I know send.
Yes.
And that's a leadership attribute that you must have.
Yes.
The spirit of I know send.
Yes.
And back now to the question of how I got myself there. Yes. No greener pastures. You all know the story now. Since you heard the story, a bit of story A. Now we are going to story B. Well, along the line, got myself into one of those countries where we all went looking for greener pastures. And then we get there, we realize it's not even a pasture anyway. Talk less of green. It's only, let's just leave it there. So yes, and what's happening? Because I've always said this, your success abroad sometimes depends on where you arrived and who you arrived with. If you fall in the wrong hands, that's what you're going to know. Now, don't blame the guys that get there and you see that all they're now doing is cyber fraud. They fell into the wrong guy because those carcass of people will make you believe that's the only thing available.
That's the only thing that can work.
You meet with guys doing drugs, that's what they're going to say is available. And they will justify it and let you know, there's no job nowhere. This is what's there. And then if you now meet the right people, they will show you the way. So along the line, those things were just there. I'm like, you mean there's nothing?
Yeah, in this
it's only this crime and crime. What are we going to do now? And they're like, no, there's these people that sell timeshares, holiday homes and stuff like that, where you can, share flyers up and down, then they pay you per conversion, not even per the number of people that fill the form. They fill the form goes to the office, the call center calls, when they convert, they pay you. And every week, they pay us our money. they have this way of putting us together in one hall, so you can see who's doing well and who's not doing well. That's a psychological thing now. Yeah. But every time they pay us $10, $15, $25, that's the highest, because I think they pay like $3 per card. I can't really remember. But every time they gather us in that hall, there's one guy that will cash out $1,000.
Wow.
$1,500. Then.
Wow.
And we will be getting $15, $20. How is this guy getting $1,500? And I don't know if you've done this before. I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
Where you've spent somebody else's money, right? Like, as they collect the money, you just say, if Nami collect this $1,500, I will first, if I pay my rent $200, then I'll be spending this money for him. Like, no, this money is really, really very important. I got to make this money. Because, yes, we all had that expenses there. So, and the guy's name was Paul. And I'm still looking for him right now. Because I've shared this story many times. I think he deserves a commission before he sues me.
I agree.
But now it's not his story, it just features in my story. So anyway, I told my supervisor then, I'm like, luckily for me, the supervisor was a Nigerian.
Oh.
So and they don't know how to use black people. So black people, Nigerian, Ghanaians, South Africans, Zimbabweans, and not South Africans that work in that company, black South Africans.
Okay.
And then I spoke to my advisor, anytime you want to post us, because they drop us in different shopping malls. I said, anytime you want to post us post me with Paul. You know?
And that's lesson number one. Move with the winning team.
Exactly. Do not envy it.
Exactly.
I used to say this, that some of us, the person should be learning from.
Exactly.
You are beefing him. The person should be collaborating with. You are eating him. May you understand why God made you know them. Let's go back to Paul.
Exactly. Let's go back to Paul.
So I asked my supervisor, I said, please, you know what, post me with Paul.
Yeah.
And you understand. Because in my mind that time, this guy, they use jazz. That was what everybody in that all said. Every time they are paying Paul and he's getting them, so he carry jazz come from Nigeria. You know, jazz, black magic voodoo. And has put something that he would just touch his mouth and those Oyinbo people be feeling it for. Because me, by the time I say hello, if Oyinbo did not answer, I'll go and sit down in the mall, I'll be thinking about my life. So yes, luckily for me, one day they posted me and Paul just to crash the story down. And they put us in the same mall. And you know what? I was really monitoring this guy. Like, you today, if you come with that thing for your pocket, I'll just hold him like this. That, you know what? Touch, make I touch. Just touch small, give me small. Maybe I you to use this thing. Make nobody know. You know, so I've been monitoring Paul, like, Paul, you today. So when he say he wants to go and pay, I say, I'm gonna go peace now. I'm gonna go peace. It was now one day. And he calls me Francis. Francis, why they follow me up like this? And you know the funniest thing about this poor guy, you know, we still went, we could speak at least some tiny good English, we could dress well, because we came from a very good family then. This guy's from the village.
Wow.
Let me shock you.
Yeah.
He does his conversions with pidgin. So he's speaking to him, he's like, Madam, if you can feed this thing now and buy this house now, we are telling you now that you can get this property. Can you imagine with pidgin? So how is he using pidgin? Can't speak proper English. And you're telling 1,000. So it's jazz now. It's jazz. So he has brought something from village abroad. So at some point, I didn't see him using anything. Not touching any voodoo on his tongue. I'm not gonna get, no cut soup for me. And I'm chilled. But I sat down now, you know, normal me, normal host, normal entrepreneur, normal lady. You do 1 or 2, it's not working, you sit down. Sat down, I was looking at this guy. But at some point I realized that this guy was a madman. Because he will go to one of the white guys, you know, like, hello, can you feed this thing now? We can, and he'll be like, hey, buzz off, man, I'm busy. You know, shopping malls, people are just going into the mall. And from there, he will go to the next person. You know me, after every buzz off, I have to cool down, collect that disappointment and let it sink in.
Life.
You know, I made this small picture, just talk to like this. This one, he will not even, like from here, he will just go from here, go to there, go from here. And I say, Paul, come. Why do they walk like this, like madman?
Wow.
That was where my own deliverance came, that question that I asked. He looked at me and I said to me, he said, Francis, me, I know as I take leave village, me, I know send,
Hey!
That statement, it was like the spirit came upon me.
Wow.
Like, truly, who do I send in this abroad?
Yeah, exactly. Who know me, sir?
Like, what is, like, who I send?
Happy.
Like, this guy really didn't send, though. That was all he was doing. There's no voodoo anywhere.
Wow.
And I looked at him after that statement and everything changed. That was just the spirit. You have been sending too much. And some of you look at your life. What will my neighbors say? What will my friends say? If I carry this speaker, if I can't do this production, now me be sound man, now me be light man, now me go to follow people up and down. That shame, they send too much. And getting to success, leadership, you don't need to send. There's some decisions you would make that you can only make it if you don't send. And I looked at this guy, I'm like, you know what? This is it for me.
Wow.
But do you know the shocking part of that story? Yeah. And I think I said it also in some conferences. The shocking part of that story is that now I was ready the next day that, I know go say, they are in trouble. At least me, I can talk in, I can wear small suits. Yes. And I can speak good English and I don't consent. Join them. Okay now, let's try it. And I got to my own mall. Fox Mall, I'll never forget. I remember now the name of that shopping mall. Ready to destroy anything. I was not doing like Paul. And you see what the universe does to you when your eyes open. Yeah. Like any one of you that is listening to me right now, the universe will also do that to you. The universe tests us. Do you know that? It does. Because on that day, jumping up and down, guess what happened? And how many sales happened? I was arrested. Yeah. I was arrested for causing public nuisance. They was checking me in the camera that I was jumping up and down, distracting the customers. And they now put me in their
Paul has been doing it all this while. Nobody
arrested him. Because you know what happens when they know you have been released. there's a force that has to come. And some of you will hear this now, you think, yes, I've got it. After you've gotten this, your biggest disappointment will come. And they locked me up in their basement in the mall. Like, no, after like some hours, they say I should get out of the mall, I should go now. This is the moral of the story. On my way, as I was going, disappointed, the day you are ready and everything. As the driver was going, I just saw a new shopping mall that just opened. And I asked the driver, is this open mall? I never used to see this mall. He said, yeah, they just opened. I said, drop me here. I'll cut it. How many of you will drop even after disappointment? How many of you will continue even after that? That I know sense spirit got me my first property, got the second property, got SSF investment. SSF investment started AYE. AYE has impacted thousands of people. It's an organization that has millions of members across Africa in 20 African countries because one person does not send. If you do not send, you don't know how many lives you are born to liberate. And that is a big attribute of every leader.
Wow. I know send.
Till today, I don't give a damn about you.
Wow. That's good.
Thank you.
That's good. Well, I've heard that story many times, at least I think once or twice. But I wanted, I forced you to reiterate it.
I told me I was going to go into my past. I wouldn't have come.
But
I thought we were going to come and chat about soccer.
About soccer. But I believe those two stories are going to liberate a lot of people and really help them. Tell us about your family. I mean, you're a family man, a dedicated one for that matter.
Well, it gets to an aspect of your life where you learn many things through your experiences. And like I said, one of the beauty now is try and learn from other people, honestly, because you don't really need to go through it. I've lost it all before. You know what I'm saying? I've lost a marriage before. Wow. And I could see.
Where? What country?
Yeah, that's in Johannesburg as well.
Okay.
And I could see that, sometimes we give everything to this entrepreneurship. It takes our life. It takes everything. It takes every time. We go to different countries, really didn't have time, for that time. And then it went right in front of my eye. Wow. And only at that time did I realize that, you have to be able to balance this thing. And now when I speak to people, I speak to them about family. So like me just telling you, chase money, because come to think of it, there are some people that really counts.
Yeah.
And if you're a very creative person listening to me, try something. Put yourself, imagining yourself on a sick bed, chronic sickness, and imagine those that gather around you. Imagine the faces that are there. Those are the ones that truly count. You realize that girl nobody there. That guy no dey there. You could just call once in a while. There are some people that are really good. As I said this now, I'm feeling emotional about it. If you're very creative, if you can imagine it, it will trigger something in you, and those people need your time. All these things that we are chasing at the end of the day, what is it? It's how you make people feel that matters. So that time you invest with playing with your kids, with looking at your wife and just saying, I love you, I love you so much, taking them out, those things matters. Those are the things they remember. How many of you remember what your father bought for you? Or how many of you remember that the school he took you to? How many of your father, nobody, but you will remember the hugs of your dad. You remember the times you watch movie with him. Those moments truly count. And I try to encourage a lot of leaders, because if you're going to lead in the first place, what is your home like?
What do you think made your first marriage to crash?
Of course, what I just shared. My entrepreneurial mindset.
You didn't have time for
exactly. There was nothing. Even my wife knows this. My wife knows about my previous marriage. Even my ex-wife knows this. There was nothing wrong. Like, you would see us as even a perfect couple. Nothing was wrong. She was doing well. I was doing well. Everything was okay. But, when there is no investment into those little things that count, that separation will just come. That space will just come. And, everybody just realize that, this thing is not working. And you will not believe how many leaders are suffering from this.
Yeah.
You want to lead, you are leading outside, Funny how leadership is, where you have to create a smile on people's faces and then you cry your way to bed at night. Very funny feeling. So a lot of leaders are going through this, including pastors are going through this. And it takes true leadership to be able to own up to it and admit. And like I said lastly, before you just asked this question, if you're truly going to lead, what is home like? What is your home
the
like?
leadership starts from the home.
Come on, man. That is it. Like there's nothing you can tell me. That is where it should start from. Who does your wife say you are? I beg, she's the closest person to you. Who does she say you are? Truly, who do your kids think you are? I'm using the word think because there should be a mentality around the kind of figure they say in front of them. Who are your employees? Who do they say you are? These things truly count. So you can't just come out there and create a facade and create that thing. I'm a leader. Behind the bar or behind the scene, you're just something else. You're a disaster. You're a fornicator. You're a this. You're now coming outside to wear the leadership garments. Come on, man. Africa needs to do better. And that is why family is important. There's a lot of investment that you need to do in family. And remember, they're the ones that will be there at that closing chapter of your life. So give them the right investments.
I remember the image of your wedding. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Right, Lakwe.
Like a pine tropicana.
Like a pine tropicana, yes. Why? I mean, there was the ocean, and the late governor Akredolu was there. The current governor was there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, why that concept?
Well, I'm a Pan-African to the core. Like I breathe Africa. I sleep Africa. My blood, my vein, everything is Africa. And for me, my story is for me. I look at it and it's that of a Moses that ran away from Egypt, and God said, "You're going to go back and let my people go." So I never believe I will be the same Pan-African. I never believe I'll be even back in Nigeria. You remember the story from the beginning. So one of those that jackpot, like jackpot. You know, there's some jackpot that they carry things when they are jackpot. I can't even call it jackpot because there was no way to come back. So it's jack forever or jack finish. So it was so bad that we never believed in Africa. We never bought the experience, this way God will now use that life to now create a new love for you. And Africa has become a newfound love. And I'm now telling people about what we missed, what we are missing. A lot of us that just want to run out, what we are missing. That's another topic on your podcast on its own. So let me not even go there. And married a woman who is a Pan-African as well. You know, she's such an amazing person. And she's so good. And one of the things about vision is this. Anything you lose in your vision, God has a way of compensating you. If it's vision driven, I bet you. You know, when I got married in South Africa, it was the most trended wedding in South Africa.
Really?
Yeah.
You've always loved doing your thing.
So I flew my ex-wife in a plane.
Okay.
In my first marriage.
Okay.
So that trended, carried her in a plane, landed, they've got into a boat, all those things. So in this new marriage, I'm now thinking, what will I do now for my new wife? And how God, but funny how God did it. This one now became the most traded wedding in Africa, not even in Nigeria, because we had almost 46 million cumulative views from different platforms.
Wow.
People even paid
to watch your wedding.
No, to give us a what's it called now? Like a gift that they got paid from TikTok from sharing our wedding. We had people that had 8 million views. We had people that had 12 million views. We had Bola Latin America carried it. Had almost 7 million views on their platform. People were just cashing out on the. We that we have the wedding. We never need to trend now. You know, things about creative. We just doing this. So we just wanted, back to the question, a Pan-African wedding. And, give it an Africa feel. Let people know. So instead of wine glasses, we used calabash. We drank palm wine. And, just to give something extraordinary from our creative mind. Give that African team. Let your wife come in from the waters as I walk in for the bride house. And that's just creative. We never knew nothing would trend. Wow. And then we put the theme song, Going of the Lion King.
Yes.
And that just happened. And everybody was dressed in African. So it felt like a Simba kind of wedding. I was dressed, the wedding was called Mufasa Court.
How did you convince a sitting governor to do that with you?
And he sang. He also sang and everything. He knows that I'm creative, very creative, and he knows that my creativity always pays. So he has seen it play out before. It's like me now telling you, Dr. Stephen, you know what? Change your leg this side. You will have done it before you ask me why. Because you've seen it work. So it's the same thing that happened to him. So we had that, and it was very colorful. It was very beautiful. Wow. And I must say that my wife is a compensation from God. Wow. It's a strong compensation. We have beautiful kids together. I've got a set of twins as well. And this is also to encourage every leaders out there that has lost something. Because somehow you have lost many things that you have not even told us. You will have lost something. be it investments, be it relationship, be it friends. There are many friends that will misinterpret you. They would. And it's a price you will pay for leadership.
Yes,
there are many friends that will criticize. But I can tell you today that for every visionaries, God will compensate you.
And so you say in South Africa?
Yeah, in South Africa. And then we spread across Africa. And, it just keeps going and going. Now we have the first entrepreneurship village in the world. So it's
congratulations.
It's just growing. Thank you so much.
And you are hosting Obama in this November.
Yeah, Obama, Cherry Blair, big play. You know what I tried to do just now?
Yeah.
When you just called his name, I went quickly to the speakers list, and their faces are so much, I don't even know which one now to mention. But just to let you know that there's a lot of global leaders that are going to be around in Nigeria for the Global Entrepreneurship Festival. And the mindset is this: a festival for entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial players, and entrepreneurial institutions. People who have made strong impact. And it's a 3 days event, making sure that there's room for collaboration. One of the biggest things we want to do with that festival, it's a festival, not like Carnival, is collaborations. It's not even the speeches. It's a deliberate design to make people connect. And that's why we have a different location where people arrive, so we can dissolve all those bodyguards. Because it's going to be a lot of details, security details. So you're going to get into your VIP bus with you and one close protection aid.
Okay.
So we are having a conversation earlier. I wanted to even tell you this earlier. Just one bit so that these people are accessible to many people. So we've spoken to some of these VIP and HNI. Some of them are raising concern. Not them, their assistants, but we've told them if this person can do it, you too, you should do it. And that's because if you go, I was in Geneva and you will see everybody like that. There's nobody. If you go to these conferences across the world, there's nobody. So why do you want to now come and put 500 security with only you and scatter the whole event? So deliberately, we did a very smart thing. Very close to the event, we booked up a place just for parking. And that hall too is one of the biggest hall in Nigeria. They were like, it's an embarrassment. You mean you collected our own venue for parking? It's for parking and to rip off all those extra protocols so that people there can connect with the ways of this world.
Wow.
Not Nigeria, of the world.
Of the world. Wow. How did the idea come about? This entrepreneurship village and then even the event as well?
Thank you. It's a journey when God is working with you. It takes you on a journey. And one of the beautiful things about God is He actually won't give you the big picture from the very beginning. But you will know He's taking you somewhere. And I'm sure you can really relate to that. And, looking at AYU over the years, and the sacrifices, and I'm glad that I'm going to touch something right now. You would wonder, and I want to ask you something, or say something to you, let me put it this way. You would wonder, why don't I have all the resources, right? I'm sure you think about this. Like, there's this thing I want to do. Why is there all these resources not there? Guys, I tell you sometimes, God is really protecting you. And that is why He did not serve food for you in the presence of your enemy. He prepared a table. Preparation is a process. He didn't just carry the food, buffet, and bam. That can lead to your death. It can lead to your downfall. There are some things that God will not give you at once, because it can cause you to fall. If we started with some programs,
the foundation.
Yes. So what God did was bring the fork, bring the knife. So it was preparing the table. And you know what happens when preparation is going on? Even your enemies are not aware when the banquet is full.
Come on.
Think about it. When people are bringing things one by one, you won't know. You just realize, everything is full.
The day they first came, it was only table. They were mocking you that empty table.
Stephen Akintayo. You came again as well. So they don't really know. And they are following the process. They've been part of the process. So at the time the banquet is full, they won't realize because they missed the process. It's a very powerful revelation. And I got this from God, seriously. And that is why this whole thing you see today, this whole banquet about to hit Nigeria, was God preparing a table from 2010 till now. So for everybody who has mocked you, for everybody who is saying, what does it do? You never reached to blow. That estate never reached to build down. If you had built that estate in 1 year, Dr. Stephen, your life, you might have used your life to pay for it. If you had finished that project in 1 year, you would have seen how desperate your haters are. You won't know the evil of mankind until your success explodes. So be careful. So sometimes that process, small, God will just give you like 2K now. God give me this money once now. No, He release on that 1 million. On that client, go pay 5 million. It's a process. It's preparing that table. But I can assure you, the banquet will be full. That table will be full.
Hey!
And come November, you will see a full banquet.
I love this.
Do you clap on podcasts?
Now, me, I'm clapping for this one.
Thank you.
You know, I've been to the village once, and I could see the vision, you know, and I knew this was something big coming up. And remember what I said to you that day, that this is something. I was so proud of the, and for me, what moved me, funny enough, wasn't even just the concept. No, I love people who dare big things. You know, I remember a story, and I'll share this so to relate to this. One day I was in Redemption Camp many years ago, and they had this. I went to the tent, Sabi? Is it tent?
Marquees and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
They redeemed the tent where they do the worship then.
Oh, okay.
I think then it could take, I'm not sure whether that one could take almost 1 million people. Now, it took me minutes to walk through the entire thing. I went for a retreat. And then someone was sharing with me, say, that one that you say will be children's tent. That is another bigger one they are building. I say that the bigger one will be almost 10 kilometers. I'm like, no, I'll be 1 kilometer. I said, I don't understand. Wait. This one that I'm seeing is already blowing my mind. What are you people talking about?
Wow.
You know, even in my mind, and I remember that I said, how dare him think like this? How I didn't care whether it will come to pass or not, that you can think it.
And we must begin in Africa to commend those that dare.
I'm telling you.
Even those that dared and failed.
Exactly.
It's like the man in the arena story.
Yeah,
because they have experienced failure and success. Unlike you that you have not even experienced anything before. And just to rewind back to the village and your visit, you didn't just see the daring and appreciated it. You donated to the village. I always say, I'm sure you don't like me saying this, but generosity must be done in private, but appreciation must be done in public, and that's why everywhere I see you, I will still talk about it. It's not just seeing that, I appreciate this thing. You saw it and you're like, you know what? I also commit to this vision where we can create an entrepreneurship village where innovation, technology, creativity can thrive. We are giving African entrepreneurs, startups, creatives, an atmosphere for them to excel, for them to be themselves.
To dare to do it in Odo, Akure, I give it up to you. You know. Because everyone will have wanted to do Lagos or Abuja.
If you look at it, right? If the e-village was built in America,
I give it up to you.
God might not be glorified.
Yes.
If it was built in Dubai, it's the norm. If it was built in Lagos, people will understand. But where the story of where God comes to play is it be built in Accra.
And you know what's funny is that to know that President Obama will be coming to Nigeria probably for the first time. And it's not a government bringing him. And he's not coming to Lagos.
Many. William Foster, the founder of Reebok, coming to, I think, Africa for the first. Even Reebok, Africa has not brought him. So when they saw it, the owner of Bookings.com, I never even knew he was the owner of Bookings.com.
Wow.
Jeff Hoffman, coming. There are many names, and this is a vision that is bringing them. And that is one thing about any destination. Nowhere is far for a vision.
Wow.
And especially for someone like you in the real estate, when somebody say, it's far. Nowhere is far for a vision. It depends on what they are doing there. It's what they are doing there. It's what they are doing there.
That's good.
It's what they are doing
Nowhere is far for a vision.
My brother.
It depends on what they are doing there.
They took us to Davos for the World Economic Forum. Davos in Switzerland. There's not even plane that gets to Davos. Plane even gets to Accra. You land in Geneva or in Zurich, you have to connect through a train or through the road. And it's such a village. The weather is so cold, and they have the World Economic Forum there.
I'm telling you,
Global Entrepreneurship Festival will be held in Africa, and it will be held in a village, not even a village, a city called Akure. I'm telling you, Africans need to begin to think like this. Our mates went to moon, so what is stopping you from daring? If your mate can create a plane, somebody made this light. So why? What's stopping you from daring? Dare and fail.
Come on.
Because some of us will appreciate you.
Come
like
on.
you did.
Yes.
Yeah, I beg.
Another clap, please. I do have shekere like
okay, let me
just. But me have a clap. Or let me do like they do happen. I love this. I love this. Okay, I'll give my producer one question for you.
Okay, I think pertaining to young people, a lot of us are maybe not are scared to fail, and also we are in a hurry to to ensure our success comes as fast as possible. We don't have patience for 2 years because Instagram want to show that we arrive next week because our classmates need to see that we are so doing well. So what would you say for those who want to dare? We are scared of what ifs. All that. Yeah.
I think there's a 2-in-1 question that you asked. One of them is the first one that I got attracted to, which is the fact that the get rich quick mentality that you're saying. But come to think of it, actually now, what exactly are you looking for now? Are you looking for riches or success? That's we must be able to define that. And then do you know that it's actually the story that counts?
Yes.
It's the story that makes it interesting, rather. Win the lotto, $1 million, fine. And that's all. Mr. Whatever your name is, he made a lot of $1 million. That's may that not be my story in Jesus' name. Who buys such a book? How I won the lotto. Maybe fellow gamblers. You know what I'm saying? But look at his own story.
Yeah.
Look at his books.
Yeah.
What would have made you without those stories? Without all those failures, without the journey.
Challenges.
And one of the amazing thing about that journey is that it gives you the most perfected qualification of success. You don't date. When I speak to people about the Global Entrepreneurship Festival, I talk from a place of authority.
Yes.
I don't sell to you.
Yes.
I was speaking to CNN. Anybody even speak. I don't tell you, please, what's in it for me? This is it. Are you really interested about it? It comes from a place of. Then somebody now said something. I said it's an insult. He asked. He said, "So what's your track record of what you've?" I said, track record of what I've done in conference. Okay. You know I could do that because there's a story behind it.
Yes.
Go and Google it. Go and see. You would see that even I'm writing something now. How I worked with nothing. The reason how you were able to even do it more is the fact that I did it without money.
Yeah.
If I could do this kind of conferences in Africa, thousands of people without money, and you that you're in America, that you have a budget of $1 million to do a conference, you want to put me and you CV together. My failure is my most qualified CV for success. So gather all those stories, those failures, all those delays together, and go and tell somebody. If anybody comes to my office and says, "Sir, I have failed 45 times,"
yes,
you have caught my attention.
Yes.
More than a guy that succeeded the first time.
Come on.
So all these failures, it's a big CV. I beg you, anybody's ashamed of it. See, there are now leaders like us now that will tell you anything. We'll tell you we've been arrested. We'll tell you we've been deported. We'll tell you our marriage has failed. We are not hiding it.
Yes.
Gone are the days of those people that wear white collars, start preaching it on the pulpit like they are Jesus.
Aspire to acquire.
No, we are telling you this the way it is. Like there's no stain. There's no everything. No. Come out with your failure because it's your biggest qualification for success. Thank you very much.
Your star is a function of your scar. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime.
It's always sweet, ladies and gentlemen, with Summy Francis Smart. That's the end of another beautiful episode of Leadership Podcast with me, Stephen Akintayo. We love you. Bye-bye.